around real quick and you guys can introduce yourselves to me. Tom, your name looks so familiar to me.
Yeah,
I
so
don't, I can't place it.
I'm in your neck of the woods. We met at a RIA
Okay.
probably a couple of years ago. So
Was it the
the unofficial Bigger Pockets, which
yeah. Okay,
yeah,
okay. I haven't been to that one in a while. Yeah. So, well, Tom, go ahead. You can start.
sure. Yeah, honestly, I don't really consider myself a rookie anymore, but I just figured I'd chip in. You invited me to the group, whether that was intentional or not, I don't know. But been investing for since COVID, really, and started actually buying out of state based off David Green's book back in the day. Sold off that portfolio. Have a couple things in Buffalo still, but now I'm actually doing a lot more LP investments in large commercial multifamily. And then for some reason, I kind of started vertically integrating, and now I do a bookkeeping firm for landlords specifically. So
Oh, cool.
I came full circle, and but yeah, happy to. I mean, I underwrite constantly, so just happy to share whatever I can with the group.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're
Yeah.
super happy to have another resource here. Dan, you want to go next?
I'm Dan.
Dan, it's a
I'm
little hard
really.
to hear you.
Oh,
If you could turn your volume up, yeah.
why don't you go to someone else and I'll come back and try
Okay,
my
okay, thanks. Who else is ready? Ron?
Well,
Ready on the beach there.
yeah, well, this is where I'd prefer to be anyway, right? So I am just getting started in this and been looking at a lot of your podcasts and doing a lot of research, a lot of reading, trying to figure out my path, right? Whether it's the Burr method or if it's just a simple turnkey. But I'm ready. So we're preparing to move to Alabama, and so that's where my market is. Um, I've I've since started to build a really pretty epic team of people.
Oh, cool.
Thank God, the people that have come into my life. But so I'm here today really just to tune in and pick up any other key pieces of this puzzle that I can. So thanks for having me, by the way.
Yeah, Ron, I was just on a podcast episode with Henry Washington, and he was just talking about how much he loves Alabama as a market in general.
hmm Yeah, I mean I'm in Oregon, and
Yep.
I'd love to get out of the state just from a tax standpoint.
Mhm.
I'm self-employed contractor, and so I'm gonna go reinvent myself.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you
the
definitely
plan.
have an advantage of having the skill set of a contractor and
Right. Well, that does go a long way, and I'm going to rely on that quite a bit.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. Rachel, you want to go next?
Hey everybody, I'm Rochelle.
Oh,
Actually, not
Rochelle,
Rachel. Okay, I
sorry.
get that all the time. Ron, I can definitely relate to where you're at. I'm originally from Northern California, and we recently relocated to Northwest Florida. We're in the Pensacola area,
hmm
and we've been investing for, I'd say like a good probably year and a half now. Year, let's call it a year. We do burrs up in Birmingham, Alabama, which is a fantastic
hmm
market. Pensacola is also pretty solid, super competitive though, more limited on inventory. But we have three doors, and I'm definitely still a rookie. Will probably always be a rookie, I feel like. Always learning. And I'm a newly licensed agent here in Florida too. Like yesterday. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks. It's kind of like the next step naturally for me in real estate, and I love it. So we do burrs, and we also have a midterm, two midterm rentals here in the Pensacola area. We try and focus military families. I've had more luck with snowbirds actually, but it's a great market. It's really booming down here, and yeah, I'm happy to be here. So thanks for putting this on, Ashley.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Tons of people from Buffalo go to Florida in the winter, so you probably get a lot of snowbirds from where I
It's
am.
amazing. It's 75 degrees today. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Dan, are you ready for us?
I think so. Is that better?
No, it's still hard to hear you. Yeah. If you want, you can type in the chat too if you want. But we can come back to you too. Yeah, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, Cam, do you want to go?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So I'm in the upstate New York area, not Buffalo, but the Syracuse area. Been investing for around 4 years now. Mainly long-term rentals, which I've done BRRRRs. I've kind of gotten into flipping recently as well. Just from the BRRRRs, I feel like I've built up quite of a contractor base. And there's been some deals that I found that just kind of made more sense to flip instead of have a long-term tenant in there. So at this point, it's been like I'm trying to build the portfolio of long-term rentals, mainly like duplexes and single families in the area. I have one 9 unit that I closed on over the summer, but kind of using the flips at this point to just build up more equity to put more deposits down on houses and just kind of keep the long-term rental portfolio growing.
Mhm. Oh, cool. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, who wants to go next? Andy? Oh, Andy, you're on mute still. Sorry, it automatically puts you on mute when you join. Oh, we still can't hear you. Hold on, let me see if I can do it from my end.
Mainly,
Oh, there we
yeah,
go. Okay, we can hear you now.
I can name you guys. It's okay. All right. So I'm in Zimbabwe, Harare. Been doing the property I mean, for the 4 years. Then just opened a property management company for last year. So been renting out, been renting properties and renting out. So for the past 2 months, just managed, just secure about five properties here in Harare. So it's going well.
Good.
It just brings up, but it's going well at the moment. Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. What market are you investing in?
Uh, Sorry, the commercial properties at the moment, the commercial properties, on the properties mortgage, yes.
Okay.
So preserving the offices and the services ADC.
Okay, well, happy to have you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Yes. Okay. Thanks so much.
Okay, who wants to go next?
Can try if you can hear me. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
go ahead, Dan. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I'm that guy. This isn't
Not
my normal
anymore. We can
setup,
hear
though.
you great now. So
All right, perfect. Okay. I guess I started a few years ago, really, when life circumstances. My wife and I split, but we ended up renting out our house in Louisiana, and that went pretty well. So kind of dipped my toe in it then. We recently sold it back in August, so I'm now up in Connecticut, or back up in Connecticut, after being down south, and it's pretty hard to afford anything as a single person up here. So just in December, I closed on a three family, and I'm house hacking. So
cool.
we're just I'm still moving in myself, actually, but so that's working, and I'm trying to do some more stuff. I joined my RIA, and I'm trying to do some other stuff. I'd like to be able to use some other people's money instead next time, but I was able to use mine this time, and it's going fairly well, except for don't ever have a house with slant fin boilers in them.
Never even heard of that type of boiler.
Yeah, well, they're out of business, so there you go.
Oh.
I didn't buy them, but they were there. So yeah. Anyway, no, it's going well. Otherwise, it's just 20 degrees and heaters are not working, so that's okay. We'll work around that.
Were the two other units occupied when you bought it, or did you have to find tenants?
Actually, all three were occupied, and that
Oh,
was part of the deal. Was one of them had to move out. Their lease was up at the end of December, so
yeah.
it worked out.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, who wants to go next?
Hi, Ashley. My name is France. Hi, everybody. I'm a rookie investor. I follow the real estate rookie like every day. I watch all your videos and
Oh, I love
everything.
that.
Yeah. I started investing in real estate in 2024, mostly in the Midwest and Ohio area. So I'm just, trying to get all the knowledge and resources that I can get and to be able to scale and invest more. So I appreciate all your videos at the Rookie Investor. It helped me a lot. And yeah, so that's why I'm here.
Hey, great. Welcome. Happy to have you. Does I see a couple more people in here. If they have their cameras off, though, does anyone else want to introduce themselves? Ken, Vanessa, Joseph. Vanessa, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Hi, Ashley. My name is Vanessa. I'm newer to the community as well. I started out by going to local meetups. I'm in the Denver area. And I've just kind of attended those. So it's a lot of free knowledge and free food is a plus too. So that was there. So just learning all the things that I don't know. I'm hoping to kind of get my foot in the door as a co-host. So I'm just looking for my first client right now.
Okay. Well, glad to have you. Ken, Joseph, do you guys want to go? Not, that's okay. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if everyone was on the call when I said this in the beginning, but like there is no structure, there's no format for this. If you guys want, I can put together like lessons like this week we're going to talk about financing, or we can do it as just like Q&A. We can do it just open discussion. If someone has something they want to talk about, a problem, we could do hot seat where we take turns doing someone, maybe submits ahead of time what their problem is, what they're struggling with, and we can all kind of like review it and bring ideas to the next session and go over that. So yeah, if anyone has any ideas of what would be beneficial to them, speak now or forever hold your peace. And then I'm just going to do whatever I want on each of the of these calls. So does anyone have a preference of something that would benefit them that we can test out and try out for these calls?
So for me, it's all about I mean, fresh into this, okay? So I don't even know what I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm just still learning what I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm here to just pick up anything I can. So I would love to have input there,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
I don't know what I need.
Yeah.
So what's not working the best. I'm still in that, that mode where I'm practicing trying to evaluate these properties that I'm coming across and make sure that they pencil out, right? So I'm still having some challenges with what correct data to put into these calculators. Um, so I'm just going to sit here and listen for now. And if I hear something, I'll chime in. But I really appreciate everybody being here.
Okay, well, I'm going to address that real quickly as to just to give you some ideas of properly analyzing numbers, because I do think that is like a very big challenge as to how do you even know you're analyzing a deal correctly? Where can you get solid, concrete numbers from? So we could definitely go way more in depth on this on another call if you wanted to, but like a couple ideas are this is actually on Bigger Pockets. I didn't even know it existed until a couple weeks ago, but they actually have an insurance estimator. So if you just Google like Bigger Pockets insurance estimator, or if you go to, let me see, I don't know, I can find the direct link actually, it'll be easier.
Yeah,
Um,
so Bigger Pockets is how I found you. Okay.
yeah.
How I came into all of this. And I kind of tripped over Bigger Pockets, listening to some information I found on Spotify of all things, on Burr,
Mhm.
doing the Burr. And it just made perfect sense to me. It seems so simplistic, but now it's a matter of practical application. So yeah, wherever you can guide me, I'll take it.
Yeah, so I just put the link into the chat there. So it's sponsored by Steadily, which is an insurance company that works with Bigger Pockets. I actually use them for a couple rentals, but they have like a quote estimator for you. So you can like put in your property information and kind of like get an idea of what the insurance cost would be there. And you can just do it like all right online. So it's super easy. That's one thing that I always struggled with when going to a new area or a different type of property is knowing what to even estimate, because you don't want to call your insurance agent every single time you're analyzing a deal to have them quote one out. They're going to get pretty annoyed with you. So I think this is a great resource. Um, Ron, you probably are probably best at this as far as estimating the rehab costs, but one thing that really helped me when I first started out was just starting like a master list of here's all of the materials that I would need for any kind of project. And I'd go room by room. So bathroom, what do you need to renovate a bathroom? Bathroom, like even just starting at the toilet, searching a YouTube video, how to install a toilet, and going through all of the different materials that you would need to buy, the wax seal, everything. And then going on to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever and adding all of these materials to your cart. So this is very, very time consuming. But if you really do want to learn how to estimate materials, how to estimate rehab costs, like this is a really good way to teach yourself is to actually go and put it into a cart on Lowe's or Home Depot of what you would need. Even if you're missing some of those costs, you'll at least have an idea and you can always add a contingency, a percentage above that. So that at least gives you your cost for materials. The labor cost, that one to me is always harder to figure out. One of the best things you could do is if you already have contractor relations, like ask them ballpark, what does it cost to in what do you charge per square foot for flooring? Do you have a per square cost for painting? Then you can kind of start an Excel spreadsheet that's like, okay, painting, I know it's about, $7 per square foot or whatever. And then you can put in this property is 2,000 square feet, calculate an estimate there. That I actually learned from James Daynard. He's an investor out of Seattle, one of the biggest home flippers in the area. He's even got his own TV show now, but that's exactly how he does it. He has a Google spreadsheet, and that is how he estimates each of them by knowing, okay, my contractors charge X amount for this. And then he also does for like a kitchen renovation. He knows a smaller kitchen cost him $10,000. A little bit bigger, 17,000. A luxury one, 30,000 or whatever. So then he's like, okay, what kind of upgrade? This is going to be just a starter home. We're doing nothing high end. I'm going with the smaller 10K kitchen. Okay, I'm plugging that number in. So some of these
Makes a lot
numbers,
of sense.
yeah, and you're going to have to change and adapt these and update these too as you go along. But just like starting out, that helped me so much learning the real cost of material. And then even if you go into your hardware store, you'll see signs that say Lowe's Pros will install your flooring for $3.99 per square foot. Like you could even use that number. You may find a little bit worse. You might as well you find better than that, but at least that will kind of give you a starting point too as to what, they're charging to actually install flooring or paint or whatever it may be too.
Okay, well, that's excellent because I don't know the market there as far as, material costs, labor costs. I know it here really well. Uh, but here's a lot more expensive than there. So thanks for the info. I appreciate
Yeah,
it
and
very
make
much.
sure too that when you are searching on the website, you update your zip code.
Right.
So like you're not searching for,
hmm
your home. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. I use a lot of spreadsheets already, so I know how to create Excel spreadsheets and all that good stuff. So that's very helpful. I hadn't even thought about doing that though.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yet.
my maintenance guy actually made mine when he would do turnovers for me for an apartment.
hmm
He started that just for the turnovers as to like to make it easier for him to estimate how much it would cost for me for him to do a turnover for me.
hmm
He just send that to me each time, and then we started developing it into like full house remodels too. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's all I have for now anyway.
Okay,
So,
cool. Okay, Dan said alternate funding and deal analysis, including renovation repair estimates for Burr. Yeah, so we hit a little bit of that. But alternate funding, let's talk about that piece of it. So you're looking for private money, hard money, ways to get creative. Uh,
Yeah, I've certainly listened to the podcasts and all that stuff. I just kind of I need to put a plan in action. I used all my own money on this
yeah,
first one, so obviously now that resource is tapped some, so could use some help at least up front.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh, Brandon Turner once told me this piece of advice, and I always think about it is to, and this can go towards a lot of things when you're asking for something, is when you go to, like, if you're looking for private money, say, Dan, I know that you have a lot of money. I think that you would be interested in investing in this deal, being the lender on it, but I don't like confrontation. I don't want to put you on the spot. So I'm going to go to you and I'm going to say, Dan, I've got this deal and I'm looking for somebody to lend on it. Do you know anyone that would maybe be interested in lending on this deal? So this takes the pressure off of you asking them directly, them being uncomfortable being asked directly. And this conversation could go three ways. It could go them saying, actually, I do. I do have somebody in mind. This could be, no, I don't know anyone, but if I think of someone, I'll let you know. Or it could be actually me. I'm interested. I maybe would want to do this. So that's the first thing is you have to like start putting it out there, what you're trying to do, and you have to start talking about it. Majority of my deals that I've done, like in my hometown, have all been word of mouth referrals just from people knowing that I buy real estate.
yeah,
So
and I guess that's part of it is I'd rather do it kind of behind the scenes. I guess I'm weary about like the places that advertise, hard money and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, are they trustworthy? Is that like have other people dealt with them? I know usually the interest rate is usually pretty high and all that, but I get that, but just kind of wondering.
it can go either way. People have had a great experience, people had an awful experience. I had an awful experience with a hard money lender. I used them one time, it didn't work out. It was a horrible experience for me. And I've gone the private money route since then or DSCR loans, but that still requires 20% down most of the time to do that. So that's still putting in a lot of capital. But I think as far as like hard money lenders, just ask more questions than I did. That was my big mistake was I didn't understand all the fees going into it. And I think going back, like literally go into Chat GPT and type in here, what are 20 questions I could ask a hard money lender to vet them? Tom, have you worked with any hard money
Yeah,
lenders?
so I was just gonna say I've done a couple of hard money loans. Dan, don't throw your information out into the public world, Facebook, whatever, Bigger Pockets forums, and say, I'm looking for a hard money lender, because everyone and their brother and their Nigerian prince will show up saying, sure, send me your application, your personal
See
details.
lots of those on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to do
throw that
that.
to the garbage. I think because you said you joined your local RIA, just ask for referrals. Who do you use for hard money lending? I'm looking for other ways of financing. What do you suggest? And you might be surprised. You might have an agent in your neighborhood and say, hey, like we have these great house hacking loans. We have these other great investment loan opportunities that are only 10% down, like those kind of just needle in the haystack type situations. So, yeah, always ask for referrals with that. You can go with the big bridge lenders out there. They keep changing names, but the stuff you'll find online with a Google search. But they don't care about you. There's no relationship. They will, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, they'll screw you in 5 seconds and change the terms on you right like days before closing. So that's just been my
Yeah,
experience.
I'm pretty good with people. I was a professor, I was a band director, so like I kind of the relationship thing's kind of important to me, I guess, and I think I can do that well. That's why I don't want to go with some major, company or something like that. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. That really
Yeah,
helps.
referrals definitely.
Yeah. And I think using the meetups too as the private money option too, is to ask, saying, do you know anyone that would be interested? Tom, at the meetup here in Buffalo that we've gone to before, I literally remember one time this guy walking around with his checkbook and it was a self-directed IRA and he's just like, I got money. He said like, That was a little kind of a red flag for me, but I
Yeah.
mean, there's people that go and do that,
You'd be
so
surprised. Or I
yeah.
mean, keep doing a couple of these, Dan, and in 12 months you'll be the one that is the expert, and some other newbie will just be like, "Yeah, I want to partner with you. Like, I like what you're doing." Honestly, I would talk about your house hack on social media constantly. You never know who in your network is going to be like, "Oh, that's interesting."
That's in
Also,
the works.
also get familiar with how other people can invest with you,
Mhm.
whether it's, converting their 401k retirement into a self-directed IRA or et cetera, et cetera. Just understanding how they can even borrow money from their 401k, or maybe, who knows, they're just sitting on a bunch of cash. Inheritances, you never know. So,
That like
because a lot of the casual person doesn't actually understand how to do this. And so they just think, oh, you have to go to a bank and that's the only way to get money. And that's just not true.
Yeah, no, that's what opened my eyes to all this too, was reading and listening and all that. Is that it is possible, and I don't have to be the one with all the money.
yeah. I think to come to the oh, go ahead, Rochelle.
Well, I was just gonna say, my very first bird deal that I did, of course, coming in a newbie, I was really like, how am I gonna do this? I don't want to use my own money. And I did a lot of research on hard money lenders, and I ended up working with Kiavi. And I was like really impressed. Clay was my guy there. And he was just so fantastic to work with. I did a lot of like quoting before I found my first deal, and he was just really patient with me, and they did what they said they were going to do. Yes, the fees were a little bit, it's hard money. So you pay to use that money, and just know that going in. But in my research, I did find them to be pretty comparable in their fees and their rates. So that was a really great experience. The reason I chose them too is because I was like, oh, I'll just refi into a DSCR when I'm ready. And that piece did not go so well. The appraisal came in really low. And so I had to go back out to market to find a lender. And I ended up with Jason Coda with Cross Country Mortgage. And they're actually one of the top DSCR lenders in the nation. I had no idea when I started researching. But there are two recommendations for you from me, a newbie. Did I pay a little more in fees? Maybe. Was it worth it? Yeah, because I felt like, I got a little bit more hand holding and personal attention that I was looking for as a new investor. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I haven't used Kiavi, but I've heard of them. I actually think they like sponsor some of the Bigger Pockets podcast episodes.
I found them on
Yeah.
BP. Yeah.
So Dan, if you like search around the Bigger Pockets website or like Google Kiavi and Bigger Pockets, there might be some like discount thing where you get like $500 off your closing fees or something like that. Because usually most of the sponsors will include some kind of, incentive. So I'd look for
Cool. Yeah, and I did pro mostly for Rent Ready, but yeah, I did pro, so that's a huge help.
yeah, yeah. I put in here too the link to the lender finder too for Bigger Pockets. So it's
Nice.
just lenders that they partner with. They can put in your information and they'll match. It's like a matchmaking service. They have them for agents and things like that too. So, one other thing I was going to add too on the lending piece is with the DSCR loan when you're refinancing that is to definitely shop around for quotes with that. Like because the drastic change of interest rates that I've seen from DSCR loans is crazy. And then the fees on DSCR loans are can a wide variety. And there's been several lenders that tried to like make me think that these are like normal fees when they are not. Um, but I would also go to like a small local bank to even do a refinance because you don't need a DSCR loan as much as you usually do if you already own the property. So when you're refinancing, it's easier to get like a regular loan, conventional loan since you already own the property. Um, a DSCR loan I like more for the purchase of it. But with the small local bank, you'll get better terms and like the fees will be significantly lower too on the refinance. So there was one that I was doing looking at a DSCR loan and the fees on it were almost $8,000. And then my small local bank, it was a $1,500 flat fee, and that was it for the exact same loan and doing the exact same thing. So that's one thing to look at too is still look at those small local banks for refinance.
So Ashley, I'm curious. I have a burning question. I have one of my properties was a primary for us and we converted it just recently to a midterm rental. And so it's under our personal names right now on our personal credit. And I want to get it onto our business credit, our LLC, right? So I can go out and buy another one. I just want to free up that credit. Do you have any recommendations there? Like land trust? Should I just refi it into the LLC? I'm kind of lost there.
Yeah, so I've done this a couple times, but you want to read first of all what your current mortgage states. Like some mortgages allow you to transfer the deed as long as it stays in the same entity ownership. So, for example, if it's just you 100% and you transfer it into an LLC that you are 100% owner of, you can quit claim deed it into that LLC and keep the same mortgage. Then there's
Okay.
also the the mortgages that say like the due on sale clause. Like basically it changes ownership in any way, like you have to pay the loan off. I haven't done that. I haven't had a type of loan that says that. I've seen it go both ways, where one person says they've deeded it and the bank doesn't care because they're still making the payments. And then I've seen it the other way where the bank calls the due on sale and then you have to figure out a way to refinance it. So
Got
first read your mortgage because maybe you can
it.
just create the LLC and transfer and keep the same mortgage in place. If you are going to refinance into the LLC, I would do it simultaneously. So I would do like start the loan process and let the lender know that's what you're going to do. You're transferring it into the LLC. And then I would have, your attorney work up the LLC and do that as you're going through the process of purchasing because you don't I've noticed the banks and the financing really like the timelines lined up very neatly and like there's certain things they don't like to be done. So I would start the loan process first and tell your lender this is what you're going to do and have them guide you as to when's the right time. Is that at closing that they're going to deed it, finalize the deed into the LLC at closing? Do they want that done beforehand? So I would talk to a lender as to the timeline of that. But first, read your mortgage documents because
Okay.
maybe you don't even need to refinance and you can keep that existing, and keep it, the existing mortgage on there.
Okay.
And
Awesome. Thanks. I'll start there with the mortgage. I
okay,
think it's
and
the
then,
acceleration clause. I think that's what it's called.
okay.
So I'll check that.
And then the next thing is to check with your insurance agent too to see how that impacts your insurance policy. If the property is in your personal name, but the mortgage is in the LLC name, if that, or vice versa, if the mortgage is in your personal name, but the property is in your LLC name, you don't want the insurance company to all of a sudden say, well, the bank is the mortgagee on your insurance policy, but the insurance policy is with Ashley LLC, not Ashley Care, the property owner, that's the deed on title. So just be very careful of that too and talk to your insurance agent.
Okay.
That's a big thing people miss is that the insurance company looks at who's paying or, who actually owns the property too. So,
Got it. This is a fine dance. I'm like, who do I
yeah.
talk to? Do I talk to my legal? Do I talk to my tax planner? Do I talk to other investors? Like, how do I do this? I'm trying to figure it out. So, who helped you consult on that when you were doing yours?
I started with my attorney.
Your attorney. Okay, perfect. I have a guy. So I'll start there
Yeah.
and then check my mortgage. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, we're a little past our 30 minutes today, but I'd love to keep doing this if you guys are interested in it. Make sure you guys are in the Wealth from Rentals Facebook group there so you can stay up to date on different things. And if you guys have more questions, feel free to throw them into the Facebook group there and we can answer them for you. And it was so great to meet you guys today too. This was fun.
Thanks for the time, Ashley. Really.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'm
Thank
not sure when
you.
I'm gonna do the next
Ashley.
one. Probably in 2 weeks. My sister is due next week, and I'm not gonna miss her having her baby. So I'm trying not to schedule anything so I don't have to cancel anything. So probably be 2 more weeks that we'll do this. Okay.
Count me in.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.